Let me start by saying I am not a fan of spiders in the least bit. Like, I'm really only watching this because my my son requested this video. And the crazy thing is, he says he's not a big fan of spiders too, but he done stumbled on what is this Terra Green, and for some reason, he wants me to do one of these videos, and why not? Why not? So here we go. Time to scare the crap out of myself. I got a pet black widow. I'm already nervous and my palms are sweaty. There's no mom spaghetti in this one though. I'm really like not a fan of spiders. So even just see like the still right now is tripping me up. So I already know when I play this video and he starts moving, it's gonna be a problem. But I'm going to try to get through it. Why? Because my son asked me to and I told him I would. I told him I would. So here we go. I got a pet black widow. Ugh, God.
I just found this video where a guy named Coyote Peterson lets a black widow crawl all over his arm. Watching this made me think that
That's
maybe
not
black
cool,
widows
bro.
weren't as vicious as I
This
thought,
is not
and
cool.
maybe
This
I
is
could keep
really
one
not
as a
cool.
pet. And
Son,
so I found a
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I've only made it 12 seconds. This is 11 minutes of a video, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Like, all right. Let's do it.
sketchy website that'll sell me just that. Why do they even sell these as pets, bro? I don't
For
know. Let me just add
$40?
this to the cart. And thanks to the one-day delivery, literally the next day, I opened up my door to the package.
That wasn't supposed to come out like that, but bro.
To the cart. And thanks to the one-day delivery, literally the next day, I opened up my door to the package. Okay, there we go. I guess this should be the Black Widow. And I genuinely think this is the most venomous pet I've kept on the channel. But anyways, let's go open this up. So I brought it to my table
Why
and
would you
opened
want
the package
a black
after
widow?
carefully
What
taking
do
out
they
the
do?
packaging.
It doesn't do anything. It does not do anything. It literally doesn't do anything. Oh, it eats bugs and it doesn't do nothing. When you walk in the house, it doesn't even know you just got there. Like, what is the point? Oh, I said I'm gonna do it.
I then took out the container that had a Black Widow spider inside.
That is what you call a souffle cup to go. That is a freaking ramekin with a plastic lid on it. That's a ramekin, bro.
Oh, nah.
A poisonous spider is being transported in a souffle cup. I'm not understanding.
A literal Black Widow. But I did just figure something out because apparently I didn't order just one of these. If you look down in this box, I actually ordered 2 more. Yeah, apparently I accidentally placed the order for a 3-pack, so now I have 3 Black Widows. But I wanted to take a closer look, so I opened up a container to let a spider out. And I guess it was a bit dizzy because instantly it fell on its back to reveal that iconic red hourglass shape, which warns you that this spider is nothing to mess around with. It has a potent bite. Oh, shoot. It's trying to escape.
No.
Put it in the container. Okay.
Bruh.
I gotta be more careful with these things, man. But these 3 spiders aren't gonna spin webs in these tiny containers. They were gonna need a proper enclosure, which I needed to build by first covering a bunch of spray foam with dirt and wood chip stuff to make the background. But in the middle, I put in this rock background and spray foamed normal rocks to it. You see,
Okay, all right. Let me just get over real quick me not really even wanting to see this. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I mean, okay, I have a nervous laugh. My palms are so freaking sweaty. Why would you want a spider as a pet? That's just my biggest why right now. Why would you want a spider as a pet? Like, and it's one of the most venomous, is it not? Like, is it no longer a venomous animal? Is that why they're able to freaking ship it in the mail? Like, have they found a cure? Is that why you're able to do? Because at one point, I thought black widow spiders only lived in Australia, where the rest of the world's most dangerous animals and the weirdest creations were placed. Now, I'm finding out that you can order this thing like a t-shirt in the mail. And I'm not happy about it. Not happy about it at all. Because what if, and this is my chaotic thoughts, what if the spider got loose in the truck? Just what if? Oh, well, it won't. What? But what if it does, though? What if it does? What if it gets loose in the truck? Now you have random black widows. Oh my God, my palms are itchy.
Create the enclosure into a forest, a cave, and a home interior to see where black widows like to make webs and hunt the most. For the home interior part, I got a piece of styrofoam and painted a brick pattern onto it to, you know, make it look like a brick wall like a lot of homes have. And so I spray foamed that in, and the background was now complete.
And now we gotta do the web building bases. Basically what that means is we just put sticks and stuff so the spiders can spin their webs in here.
To start, I'm gonna lay down a simple substrate across the entire enclosure that I'll be able to customize to each environment.
Wait though. I get the whole building the apartment condo for the spiders, but aren't they territorial? Are they not? Like, aren't spiders predominantly territorial? Like, at least black widows. I know there's other spiders that, I don't even know. I don't even like talking about it, but I know that there's other spiders that are cool with being around each other. But then there's like big dog spiders who are very territorial. Yeah. Speaking of big dog, you hear Twiggy.
First of all, the forest, and as I'm sure you can imagine, we're gonna put some wood in here, just enough on the two sides for a solid web to be made in between. And then I'm even gonna glue some moss coming down from the ends of the branches so it sort of looks like leaves on a tree.
And then I'm gonna get this bag of leaves that I bought. And don't ask me why I didn't just pick them up from outside. I don't know why I bought these.
But anyways, with those, I scattered them along the bottom, so it looked like a forest floor with all the fallen leaves everywhere. And last but not least, I got some tiny rocks and scattered them around too. Just a few, because I gotta save most for the cave. And speaking of the cave, we're gonna start right away by laying down some rocks, because that's pretty much all they got. But as you can see in this photo, there's actually a bunch of these pointy rocks called stalagmites. And I think
stalagmites, it's basically when like the water, and it's usually like bat guano starts piling up and it just creates that. But is that where black widows are found, in caves? Yeah, because he's not telling, well, I don't know, but he's also not telling me any like real background information on this thing, like where they're from, how they get there, how that even deathly hourglass thing even got there. Like, of course it's, you know, creation and genetics and all that crazy stuff, but what in the world? Why do you have a freaking he's clearly yelling at somebody.
Work perfectly in my enclosure, so let me get some.
All right, so I've got a big rock and a hammer right there, so I guess let me just try to carve some of those stalagmites out of this. So I guess I'll just go and try and hit it. I don't really know if this is gonna work, but it's gonna break.
Eventually, after a bit of hitting, I got a few pieces that when connected sorta looked like stalagmites, so I went and attached them together with spray foam. And then using more spray foam, I stuck them all into place pointing up in the cave section of the enclosure. Finally, I went and sprinkled some normal colored rocks around and then some different colored rocks around because, yeah, we literally just put rocks everywhere for this section.
All right, once this spray foam dries, I'm gonna go in and paint it, but for now, let's...
So correction on the stalagmites, they just said it's basically like mineral water. Not bat guano. Those are different ones.
The home interior section. And to start, I've got this carpet-like material, which I'm gonna cut out to shape. And then I'm just gonna go and put it in there, and boom.
Now I need to get some mini home furniture in here that the spider will be able to spin his webs from.
And my only idea for how I can get that is to build it with some Legos. So yeah, let's get building, baby.
First of all, using black bricks, I stacked them up to make this little lampshade thing. Then with some red bricks, I made a tiny little couch. Now a chair made of brown bricks. Finally, I just took the rest of my bricks to make a randomly color-assorted red and white shelf. Yeah, I'm a master builder, as you can tell. Anyways, I went and put each of those inside and even got some little dollhouse furniture to fill in the dead space, and boom, shakalaka. That's what I call a home house interior. I know a lot of black widows love to live inside houses, so one of them should definitely like this place.
But the next step on the list is to get some plants, like always. So, you already know, let's go to the plant store.
First of all, I went to Walmart and just got a couple tiny
really
plants for
just
the forest
clutter.
section of the enclosure, but
It's
then
a
I
lot
also
going
drove
on
to
in that
Home
little
Depot,
terrarium.
which I knew would have a slightly larger selection.
And basically here, I want to get something that's going to work for the cave. And, ooh, something like this actually could work as like draping vines or something. That'll actually work perfect.
Then finally, I went to Office Max.
Now, you might be wondering what plants I'm going to get at Office Max. But actually, I'm not even getting any plants. I'm actually going to be printing out some pictures to put as paintings in the house interior. Oh yeah, baby. Look at these paintings. Let's go.
When I got home, I first put the 2 land plants in the forest section, which as you can see, I ended up getting a beautiful red plant to match the red on Black Widows. Then I took apart the plant from Home Depot and glued the vines coming down from the top of the cave section. Finally, I glued some more moss all along the forest section because I felt like it wasn't green enough. And then I added a bit of this dead type of fern moss along parts
Starting
of the
to come
cave
along.
because I felt like it matched
Cave
pretty
looks-
well.
Oh,
Looks
and I almost
more
forgot
like a
the
cave
most
now
important
than
part,
before.
the stupid AI generated pictures for the house interior.
So I cut them out and glued them along sides of the brick wall. There were many great works of art, like a black widow flying in the sky with wings, a black widow dancing in a disco room, and a black widow eating a male after mating, which yes, they actually do that in the wild. Now you see in the wild, black widows are actually cannibals towards other female black widows, which means my 3 black widows cannot be able to access each other or, you know,
That's what I
they'd
said.
probably eat each other.
That's what I said. I knew I wasn't tripping. Bro. Sometimes I'm right because I be knowing. Like, I be knowing. I be knowing. I know. I know a lot of useless information that like you just have, and then things like this come up. It's like, oh yeah, no, I know that. I'm filled with those. I don't know why. It's been like that my entire life. I stopped on the wrong picture. I got.
So I've got these acrylic sheets, which should act as good separators.
So I went and measured them to size and then cut them out.
There we go, that fits perfectly.
Okay.
And now last but not least, I'm gonna put in one of these reptile foggers.
Basically, when you turn this dial, it spits a bunch of fog out the end of this tube. Black widows love a high humidity to make their webs, so this should encourage them to do that quickly. And while I would say this enclosure is now 100% complete, but that does mean I gotta actually let the black widows loose in here, which I'm kind of scared to do, but let's just do it.
And as you can see, I've got the 3 black widows in their own little containers. So I've got the first one. Let's let this guy loose into
He's
the
so
forest.
careless.
Then
He's
I'm
so
gonna put
careless.
The second one into the cave section like that. Then finally, the 3rd black widow in the home interior section.
And while all the spiders were now in their new home, I took an interest to the one in the forest area. You see, this one immediately started to crawl all around her new home and even made her way up to the roof of the enclosure. There on the roof, you can see she started to walk around with a little strand of silk coming out the end of the abdomen. She was already building a web. Spiders, of course, do this to catch prey, and black widows in specific have some of the strongest silk out of any spider, which is
I'm legit like holding myself right now. Yeah, say what you want. I don't like spiders, and I'm just doing this for my son. just doing this for my son. He asked me to do it, and I told him I would, and then I am gonna post this. Like that's the crazy thing. This is not the content I thought I'd be making.
produced in these little silk glands that they have. Anyways, I left the black widow to continue with that, and the next day I came back and opened up the top of the enclosure. You could see the area where she was constructing the web, and now she was hiding in this little crevice.
So much for building this enclosure. I built all this forest area just for the spider to make her web right in this little area. Well, at least she has something, because that means now I can try
First of all, she's on the way out. 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 Sir, she's on the way out. She's getting ready to leave that enclosure, and you're going to go there and look and say, oh, where's my black widow? And you're not going to find her. My nerves are so bad right now. Why would you get a black widow spider as a pet? And why did my son ask me to watch this?
a bunch of different types of food to see which they like the most, starting with mealworms.
Now I wanted to start small, and as you can see, these mealworms I bought are absolutely minuscule. They're barely the size of the tip of my finger, but hopefully the spider will still like them. Using some tweezers, I dropped a mealworm straight into the spider's web, and immediately it started to squirm around to try and escape. But spider webs are specifically designed to keep little insects like this stuck in them.
First of all, spider webs are stupid strong. Like, do you understand studying of spider webs is how we even got, like, any type of woven anything, like how you string yarn together. You know when they take steel cables and they string it together, and it's because they've studied spider webs forever. Silk. Silk doesn't come from a spider. It comes from a worm, silkworm. But the web, the whole mechanics of the butt of these insects and how they can create this ultra strong thing, and it's so thin and light and airy and all these things, but it's like unbreakable to other insects. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, man, like, humanity has studied insects and animals and things like that since the beginning of time, and it's, behavior. But you learn things like this, like, just looking at this picture is killing me.
The wiggling around made the Black Widow come awake, and soon it even crawled out, only to walk right by the mealworm and run away. In fact, this Black Widow tried to make a grand escape and even webbed down the side of my table onto the floor.
Look at that! 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 You heard what I said. Oh my God! Oh my God! My nerves are so bad right now. This is not cool. I'm gonna kill my son. Figuratively, of course. Oh my gosh, he just told me to watch Terra Green. And he knows I don't like spiders. He knows I don't like spiders.
Do not go under the table. Do not go under the table.
Anyways, I ended up scooping it into a container where I then dropped another mealworm in front of him, and once again, he didn't want to eat it.
Okay, well, clearly this Black Widow is not trying to eat any mealworms, so instead, I've got a bag of some tiny little crickets.
And these I'm gonna feed to the second Black Widow in the cave area. Now, if you remember, I put this
so
spider.
I feel like he's just experimenting to see what they will and won't eat, which is fine. I mean, it's your pet now. You could do that, but should do a little bit of better research. I gotta stop looking at the screen when I pause it. I'm not gonna make it.
Enclosure on this little plastic lid where I already had a web, and since putting it in 2 days ago, it still hasn't moved.
Can we just? Why do you? All right, I think I've asked why a billion times already, but like, just spiders in general. Okay, now. I think, and this is, I'm like having one of those aha moments right now. I believe the reason why I'm not fond of spiders is there was a movie that came out in like the 90s, I believe, and I was a child and I watched it. I watched the entire thing, and even right now, I can still see like scenes from that movie in my head. I will never ever be able to look at spiders like anything other than the most dangerous animal in the world. Like, I wouldn't be scared of a raging rhino as much as I'm scared of spiders, bro. Like, they're so small and sneaky.
It might be dead, actually. But anyways, I put in some crickets to see if it would eat. And literally right away, one of the crickets jumped towards the spider and jolted him awake, which I guess was a good sign because the spider was now finally moving. But when I tried to bring the cricket back, it scared the spider and it ran away into the cave. I almost lost track of the spider until I came across her again on top of the enclosure where she had somehow escaped to. I tried to feed her a cricket once again, but she just was not having it. So I scooped her back.
Okay, so you can't just hand it to the spider. They like live food, of course, but they will do their thing. Just leave it. You don't have to keep trying to hand it to them. Dude.
To the plastic container.
Well, it looks like this Black Widow is also not eating, which usually would mean I would go test the third and final food source, which was gonna be just crickets, but a bit bigger. But I kind of have bad news because I don't really have a spider to feed these to.
Yes, you heard that right. Since putting the third spider into the house interior section 2 days ago, I haven't seen it at all.
Oh. What did I say? The spider is gone. You have a Black Widow spider loose in your home. Burn the house down. sell the property, move to another state, and take nothing with you. Take nothing. Nothing. Take nothing with you. Burn the house down. Now, immediately, burn the house down. Me and my son are gonna have a talk.
Escaped my enclosure. And now, not only did I have one missing, but I also had 2 more that weren't eating.
This is genuinely the worst idea I've had for a video. Like, pet black widow. Like, what am I thinking? One is escaped and it's literally crawling around my garage. There's only one way I can make this up for the content. I gotta let the black widow crawl on my arm, just like I saw Coyote Peterson do at the start of the video.
Okay.
So, let's not waste any time.
Okay. Could be trolling. Could be a lot of trolling going on right now. And I kind of fell for it. So we'll see what's up.
Get my mom in here. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
All right, I'm bringing you in here today because I got a special job for you. As you know, I always keep the weirdest pets. And can you guess what pet's in here based off the decorations?
Oh my gosh. Is it a black widow?
Yeah, it's a black widow.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you see those paintings on the wall?
Yeah, I do.
A black widow? Isn't that cool?
No.
Why? Okay, I got them onto this little tray for you. And basically, you can see it right there. What do you
No,
think?
no.
Say hi.
No. I wouldn't keep that as a pet.
Why? It's cute. Well, I did say I have a job for you. So can you hold the camera?
Oh my gosh, you are not gonna put this on you.
Here, hold the camera. All right, as you see, we got the black widow in a nice little clear container. And I'm just gonna start by literally putting it on my sleeve like this until it crawls out.
You see, the plan is to have it crawl onto my sleeve, and then from there, it'll crawl onto my hand. So I basically just waited until it started to crawl out.
I have to be super calm right now.
But as you could have guessed, of course things went wrong. Because as you can see, it just started to grasp onto the edge of the container and not let go at all. I was probably making it pretty mad, so I quickly transferred it to a piece of cardboard.
Okay, so I decided to just put them onto a piece of cardboard, and I'll let them crawl out here.
And after gathering together a bunch of courage, I just moved the cardboard in front of my hand to let it happen.
Okay, I'm gonna do it in 3, 2.
Father, Jesus, please. Oh God, Lord Father, please. Okay, it's time to go off. It's time to go off, Lord Father.
What if it goes up his sleeve?
Oh,
That was so nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh, how did you feel doing that?
the heart was going 500 beats a second.
Well, there you have it. Probably the stupidest pet I've ever kept. But hey, at least it's gonna be an interesting addition to my collection. Guys, check out the new Axolotl hoodie released on my merch website. Buying it helps support these videos. Anyways, have a good day, or night, or afternoon, or morning, and goodbye. And subscribe too.
All right. That's officially like the worst video of, and there's more. Just, can we not? All right, wait a minute. I just don't want to see any of this. Okay. All right. That's officially the worst video I've watched. Simply because I cannot stand spiders in the least bit. This was hard, bruh. This was crazy to watch. And I'm telling you, like, I only did this because my son asked me to. Like, and I make it a point to make sure anything that he asks for, especially when it comes to what I'm doing here, he can get. Because, yeah, he asked me to do a video, I'll do a video. Why not? Why not? That was really my thought. Like, why not? But then I remembered why not. And I already told him, yeah. So, got to be a man of my word. Got to keep that word. And I just basically terrified myself for the past 20 minutes. Oh, man. I have a real low heart rate, like resting heart rate. So I can almost guarantee you my heart is like at least at like 90 beats per minute right now. At least. My resting heart rate is like 52, 51. It's been 50, but like 52, 51. Yeah, this is done. We're done here. We're done here. Bye. Have a good one. Oh, man, I got to go do something.